What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So your man's Chris Eubank Jr. has officially ducked Kell Brook. Yeah. Now, these are the tweets you see on your screen. Chris Eubank said, "Nice win, but let's see if you can fight like that against me, devil face." Kell Brook responds, 155, otherwise do not mention my name, you bum daddy's boy. Eubank responds, you fought Triple G spot at 160, so you will do the same with me if you want the biggest payday and beating of your career. If not, I've got much bigger fish to fry anyway. You don't, at Special K. Now let me analyse this thing here. First of all, your man Chris Eubank, aka #1 daddy's boy, said before, I owe Kell Brook a beating because he took my he took my Triple G work. Listen, Eubank, you shit your pants when it came to Triple G. About he took your work. You lost your pen. Yeah, what you mean to say is you lost your pen when it came to Triple G, and Kell Brook stepped up to the plate. All you've ever been, Eubank, is a bum slayer. That's what you'll be known as, a massive daddy's boy bum slayer. Yeah, oh, but YB, he's made loads of bag. He's made loads of bag because he's his dad's son, daddy's boy, yeah? Because if he wasn't, who would he be? He'd be a random British level bum slayer. Call me a liar. The only reason he's made millions is because of his pop's name. That's it. And again, I'm not someone who's sour about people being silver spoon, but do something in your own right. Why is Eubank calling out Kell? Fair enough here, genuinely. Let's say Kell and Amir were bona fide 160 pounders, and Kell Brook was a former 160 pound world champion who was a bit over the hill but just put on that kind of performance. I'd get that. You can't have both though. You can't be a bit over the hill, a bit old, and 2 weights below. No, that can't work. It's got to be one or the other. Either they're your weight and a bit old, that's acceptable. So for example, the whole Conor Benn thing. That Conor Benn thing makes more sense to me than Eubank fight. Because at least, yeah, Brook might be a bit older and not in his prime, but he looked good and that's his weight. And especially if they can, I'm pretty sure Brook's going to force Conor Benn up to 154. Especially at 154, I'd actually argue Kell Brook's got the edge there, to be quite frank. That makes sense. So wait a minute, Eubank. What exactly are you bringing to the table? You make out you're some big money man. You just fought a British level showdown against someone shot to bits, and you didn't even dare finish him. About what you'll do and if you want the biggest beating. You couldn't even beat Liam Chiniums up. Liam Chiniums was begging to be put out, and you couldn't do nothing with him. He was literally, Liam Chiniums was finding a way to jump on the floor. About biggest beating. I think what you mean to say, you give Kell Brook the biggest run around the ring. Yeah, because there's no doubt about it. Can Chris Eubank potentially run around the ring for his life away from Kell Brook? Absolutely. Chris Eubank loved to run. Can Chris Eubank run and taunt his way through 12 rounds against Kell Brook? Maybe. It's a possibility. But that's all you'll do. Yeah? Because if you couldn't put out Liam Chiniums, who was begging to be chinned, how are you going to do anything with Kell? Kell ain't chinny. Especially at 160 when he's full of carbs and full of muscles and full of Dom Ingles juice, no doubt. Yeah, one of them, 100%. I just think it's a big embarrassment. Oh, well, you fought Triple G, so you'll do the same with me if you want the biggest payday. Listen, Chris Eubank, what is it about you that you're so... You love to fight in bum fights, don't you? Not that Kell Brook ain't a bum. Kell Brook's a bad man. There's no doubt about that. 100%. But you, from your point of view, you being a prime or an alleged prime 160 pounder, what does it say about you that you're hunting someone half your size and arguably over the hill? How does that make sense? It's weird, honestly. Your whole career you've spent... I mean, I remember 6 years ago with Billy... I think about 10 years ago you was fighting Billy Joe. You've actually gone backwards. Let's be real now. Liam Chiniums is a backward step from Billy Joe Saunders. How did you fight Billy Joe 8 years ago and you've gone backwards since then? And you've legitimately not won a fight at any higher level. For example, you got beat by Groves. Who else you get beat by? You got beat by someone else. So you got beat by Billy Joe. You got beat by Groves. So you actually haven't. A step up fight here would be, okay, I stepped up and I beat someone above British level, but you haven't. Every time you stepped up, you've been beat, and you're still determined to fight small people. In fact, not only just small and old. And if they are in your weight division, they're at max British level. And even then, they're not only British level, they're shot to bits British level. Like Liam Chinium's. It's wild. And the arrogance as well. The way Chris Eubank struts around the place. Like, he tries to be his dad, doesn't he? And I don't mind arrogance. I don't mind it if you've earned it. But the way Chris Eubank struts around like he can do something. Why aren't you calling out Triple G, who's at your actual weight? You're still, even though Triple G's shot to bits at 50-year-old, you're still not calling him out. You're meant to be the big money man, the big Ben Shalong. Yeah, I thought you was the big Ben Shalong money man on Sky pay-per-view. Why don't you say Triple G? Triple G, I've got a big money fight for you in the UK. Come and push my wig back for me. Or better yet, Alvarez. Please, Alvarez, come push my wig back for me. You don't want to do it. You want to always have the advantage, and I think your career will be known as a big daddy boy. #1 daddy's boy. That's what your career looking like right now. Because without your pops, you'd probably have made about 200 grand in your whole career. Can you believe Eubank's made like 10 mil in his career? It's honestly unfathomable. Only guy ever to make 10 mil fighting and losing at British level. Literally, Billy Joe's arguably British level, and he whooped you, boxed your ears off on a 2-week camp. Now, to be fair, you did come back strong in that camp, but again, you didn't want to sign the rematch. It's weird, yeah. Eubank is renowned for being a diva. He's renowned for thinking he's something real hot, when really he's never tried to make his own way. Look at this Andrade. I've always wondered this. When has Eubank ever been mandatory? When has he ever tried to be mandatory? When has he ever tried for a world title belt? You got Andrade. You got Triple G. You got Charlos. What are you doing? You think you're some badass? Oh, if you want the biggest beating, it's genuinely, it annoys me as well. Part of me wants Kell. If I thought, again, if this fight does happen, Kell's right. Absolutely, I'd go to 155. 154 is ideal, but I'd give him an extra pound. That's it. You ain't getting nothing else, you bum. About you need me, you need this. He don't need nothing from you. Kell's already made his coin. He's already defined his legacy. He'll already be known as, probably the best British welterweight. And arguably, on paper, there's an argument of this era, he probably was the best 147 pounder. Now, he underachieved because he's lazy in the gym and he wasn't preparing properly. I think, honestly, if you watch that Kell versus Spence fight, if Kell was proper and hadn't had his eye bust, I think he would have beat Spence. I remember watching it live, and I was gassed, because in the first 7 rounds, Kell gave him a boxing lesson. Boxed Errol Spence's ears off, and then his wheels fell off, and his eye fell apart. But that's how good Kell was. Eubank, you can't even finish your dinner with Chiniums. I don't know, something about him rubs me up the wrong way. And yeah, I'd like to see him fight Billy Joe, but even that fight in itself, what's that about when you think about it? Why are you talk about, again, I'm fair enough here. I don't mind if someone says, listen, if Eubank came out and said, listen, I am #1 daddy's boy. I love being a daddy's boy, and I'm going to use my big daddy's name to be a #1 daddy's boy and collect big level British level fights. I'd respect that, but the way he struts around like he's a real bad mind, like he's a real killer. You can't have it both ways. Either you're a real killer and you go in there and do your thing with the belts, or you accept you're #1 daddy's boy and you're collecting British level coin. It's one or the other. Don't be strutting like you can do something, because you win. You're only going to do something in fights you know you're going to win.